on record saying that he got away from. We'll talk about it. Fun times.
What's wrong, Noah? Can't mute specific people.
I can.
You can. I can.
No. Aha. Why aren't we seeing ourselves?
Should have give it a minute.
God, I did just have to give it a minute. Wait, was that the right thing to mute?
Paul?
Am I muted?
No.
Okay, we're good then, right?
We were just making sure.
Awesome.
Noah's in a super good mood, and I'm kind of grumpy. So somehow we even out.
Yeah, it works.
Because I'm fun.
Yeah, Noah's the fun one.
And you've had enough, which is
I'm
fun
in charge
backwards.
of morale.
I've had enough. Enough. You're in charge of morale.
Yeah.
That works.
Oh, you don't know what you don't remember what that's from, do you?
Yeah, it's from The Office.
No.
It's
Newsroom.
from Newsroom.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Wants to be Don Quixote.
Yeah. Okay.
In charge of morale.
Charge of morale. How about I be in charge of morale? I'll just bring
You're
us
grumpy.
down.
Yeah.
Let's all come down to my level. Let's bring it down. So what's on your mind?
A little bit of everything
This
after
is a weird
today.
setup.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover this week.
How about that fighting in Israel?
How about that right in?
I saw some. I've actually, speaking of Israel, I
We'll
saw
top
some
right
of the
there.
disturbing videos come across my Twitter feed of just the all-out anarchy that's happening there, and my heart goes out to everyone caught in the crossfire, like just the mothers and children specifically that I've seen in videos. Breaks my heart.
Yeah. From 716 to the Gaza Strip. Peace and love.
For sure. If we could single-handedly take care of your problems, we would.
Heart. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts, prayer.
Yeah.
It's just a really complicated relationship.
It's a complicated
It's
relationship.
a complicated thing about what's going on over there. So
Yeah.
we
So
really feel.
We empathize with the collateral damage
yes.
because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
We won't speak
Yeah,
on
dead
the rest
people
of it,
suck.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one way of saying it.
I said that on our group thing the other day, and no one replied.
dead
Does
people
death
suck. Death
Yeah.
sucks. I got nothing against dead people. I just feel bad for dead people.
Or I said it sucks. It sucks to die, or something.
Yeah, that I can jump on board with. It definitely does suck. It definitely top 3 things that suck most.
I think that's what I said. Like, dying sucks. No one replied. Like, I guess you all feel differently.
we're all pro death. It's not good.
Yeah.
Lots of Sabres news. The
Sabres
Bills
news.
decided to get back in the news today when they could have just avoided it at all costs.
Well, it's not the Bills' fault.
No, note to self though, if you're a professional athlete and you take a hiatus from Twitter, don't jump back on Twitter because you're waiting for your flight to take off, and then be surprised when people have opinions on your opinions.
That's true.
Like,
What? People are mean on Twitter?
you mean I can't just say whatever I want without people sharing their opinions too? What is this? You should have limited the post to only people he follows then.
Just so you guys know, we are battling Counting Crows live on Instagram.
No, we're screwed.
I know.
How will we recover?
I hope we do all right. Have you seen what Adam Duritz looks like now?
No, not recently.
You know who Adam Duritz is? I mean, he's their lead singer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He looks so weird.
I'm trying to find a recent image of him right now. Past week. Whoa.
Right?
What? Adam, what'd you do, my guy?
Oh wow.
All right.
No, these are not pictures. Like
No,
these are,
the one on the top.
yeah, that's the closest. But imagine him without. No, I gotta find like a
Okay.
more recent one.
I'm trying to figure out how recent the pictures I'm looking at right now are from. That's from 2019.
Yeah, no, like anything
Oh, with the
that
shaved
I've-
heads? With the shaved
that I
heads?
see. No, he doesn't have a shaved head anymore. I'm working on it. God, he dated Jennifer Aniston. And Emmy Rossum.
Speaking of that, Benifer's back together.
That's true. Go Red Sox.
I could have
that.
swore I
Same.
didn't read into the article, but I could have swore that I read that he started reaching out to her before her previous relationship had even ended.
He did.
Bad.
He does
You
not
dog you. No F's given.
He was like, if you guys
The only
get-
F's I give
if
are
you
my
guys-
last name.
if you guys break up, you know,
I'm here for you, baby.
I'll rail you. If you'd like.
Well, he matched with like this girl on like this dating app, and she didn't think it was actually him. And then he sent like this, it was so weird, this video to her on Instagram, and was like, Maya, why did you unfriend me? Why did you unmatch me? He's like, it's me, Ben Affleck.
Ben. Ben.
That dog.
Why is Quentin-
Once you go Ben, you come back again.
That's true. He's basically redated everyone he's ever dated, hasn't he?
He's like
Seems
John
that
Mayer.
way.
He just keeps rotating the list.
John Mayer. Hey, you leave Taylor Swift out of this.
Where else is she going to get her writing material from? She's got to date people.
Who?
Taylor Swift.
Well, she doesn't have to date John Mayer. That was creepy.
No. She could choose anyone, but then when the breakup happens, she has
Isn't
another
she?
album.
She's kind of engaged. I mean, I don't think that they're engaged, but they've just been living together for like 4 years now. Pisses me off. She has a type, and it's not me. You have to have a British accent. And
That's true. Oh, that's so true.
be tall.
Yeah, I'm really trying to run through it, and they all kind of do have similar accents.
Tall. I mean, think
the
of her
dots.
most recent ones, and tall, British. You know,
Yeah.
Send you to England for a
I
weekend.
don't want to read.
yeah, and like drop 150 pounds.
And then you could
I
have a
don't
song
know.
written about
I don't
you.
mind this new boyfriend. I already do. It's called like The Love of My Life or something like that.
What?
Taylor Swift. She wrote a song about me.
Oh.
I
It's
always
called like
thought
My
so.
Forever
I was like, is that about
or
Todd?
something.
Got to be about Todd.
Oh, Todd.
It's got to be. That's interesting. Oh, you liked it. So you already saw it.
That?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find Counting Crows because
I had nothing to do at work today, so Like, it was a very rare day for me, and it was amazing. And I figured out I was able to download Mahjong, so I didn't have to play solitaire all day.
Really?
Yeah.
You could have played solitaire with grandma. Wait, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what?
No, because grandma plays solitaire.
Oh, well, in an app on her phone.
Right. The Counting Crows new. Okay. Maybe this will tell you how he looks now. Their new album is called Butter Miracle.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Butter can be a miracle if used appropriately.
Butter. Oh, I'm not. Here we go.
Wow.
Yeah. That's him.
I hate the sideburn.
Let's see if I can get this.
Yeah, actually, you're getting it pretty good. Yep.
That's what he
looks like
now.
you know who he looks like that? What's the name of that guy that does Man versus Food? Those competitions.
Guy
You know who I'm
Fieri?
talking about? No, not
No.
Guy Fieri. Similar build. Oh, what is his name? Who's the Man versus Food guy? That's exactly who he looks like now.
Well, see, you're probably thinking that because he's wearing the apron.
Right?
Isn't that annoying? Like,
Adam Richmond.
how did he go from where he was to, and what he's doing on this video is teaching people how to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Similarities are uncanny now.
Butter Miracle. Maybe that's why. I wonder if there's a song called Grilled Cheese Sandwich.
That's what the butter's for. Butter the grilled cheese before
Adam
throwing it in the
Duritz,
pan.
everyone. Adam Duritz, right there. That's what he looks like now.
So much different than he used to look. Even his complexion looks a little bit different.
Yeah, he looks like old. It's
Aging
annoying.
process is a real annoyance for sure.
I saw him in like 2002. I went on like a 3-day. I saw 4 bands in 3 nights, and they were one of the bands I saw, and he looked old then in 2002, which really doesn't make sense, really, because they didn't get popular till what, like 94, maybe something. I don't know.
It was around the mid 90s.
94.
What?
When the Counting Crows got popular.
Yeah, they were in the same era as Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Who was bigger, Counting Crows or Dave Matthews?
Dave Matthews.
Yeah, Dave Matthews.
All right. So sports.
Yeah.
What you all came to see.
No, they probably enjoy this more.
If we're being real, they probably do.
I know. Kansas City Chiefs acquired Mike Hughes from Minnesota. That's great. What they needed. Another okay player. This is a weird I was gonna say highlight, but it's a
Which
weird
one? Headline?
Headline. Yeah.
Charge Morale.
It says Tennessee giving $1.2 million to Tim Tebow's foundation to help fight human trafficking.
Yes.
So is that the
press conference
state?
with the governor?
Yeah,
the state of Tennessee?
The Titans.
Yes.
It's not the Titans?
It's not the Titans. It is the state of Tennessee.
The entire state.
Yes. He did a press conference with the governor.
That's insane. Now, if I'm a person, I mean, you hear people talking about that's where my taxes are going, like about everything,
Mhm.
like you really want to spend and now if I'm in Tennessee, can you imagine like I want I'm pro human trafficking. Not really. I mean,
Right. What do you say? Like you can't
I know
complain about that.
I was trying to figure out how to explain it. And
even when you're trying to figure out a way to be
that's
like,
the
"Ah, we
only
just
way
don't care."
that's the only way someone would come off sounding, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, how can you give 1.2 million to help fight human trafficking? Well, it's not such a bad thing.
Right. Like, we should try to stop it.
Yeah, but these potholes.
Yeah, but what about the bonds? When is my zoning permit going to be approved?
Right.
Exactly. Run a government, not a
Charity.
charity foundation.
I'll tell you what, they're not using that money to stop human trafficking. They're trying to give that money to the deep state so the deep state can keep on trafficking.
That's right. Like in the pizza shops.
Yeah.
Right.
So A-Rod's paying 1.5 billion to buy the Timberwolves.
Yeah, he's definitely going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah, that must be the J-Lo breakup.
Yeah.
Buy.
Bezos
people
just spent
buy
500 million on a yacht.
Right. It's like a impulse buy.
Who did? Bezos?
Yeah, Bezos $500 million super yacht with a helicopter helipad on it. Because
his own super yacht
yachts.
has its own yacht.
Yeah, my yacht.
But
has
that's
a
the
yacht.
only way
What
to
do
get
you
a
got?
good yacht. I got a yacht for a yacht. Yeah. For a yacht's yacht. I got 3.
Yahtzee!
Yeah, I was still trying to find my way to the Yahtzee joke.
Oh, I could take that really dark, but I won't.
He's gonna buy a C next, and then it's gonna be Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. That was weak.
The base.
Yeah, not my best
No,
work.
that doesn't work.
I'm making my way back
Bezos.
still.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right.
you're in the negative now, Paul. You gotta climb it back up.
Your
find my way.
Intangibles index.
Right.
It's faltering a little bit. Post surgery, Paul has an eye that's dropping through the floor.
Yeah, I mean, since that
You're
surgery, we
bringing
don't know
the
how your
show
body's
down.
going to respond. So,
Yeah. Right?
the intangible index is a little.
There might be
fluctuated
some
right
regression here.
now.
Oh, that's a stupid one.
Without a.
I say we get to
That's
Eichel.
not- That's
It's
a
a
real
fake.
That is
fake
not a
stat.
fake stat.
Ooh, fake stats.
What'd you say, Paul?
We should get to Eichel
Yeah,
after,
no, and
after this.
we will. So the Milwaukee Brewers ace Corbin Burns sets a record for strikeouts without a walk to start a season.
That's
Is that a real
impressive.
stat or a fake stat? So
Was it
he set
58?
a record of 51 strikeouts
51.
in a row without a walk.
I was reading about that earlier. And then somebody reported
That's a
on
real
it.
stat. It's
And then his very
is
next
not a
at
fake
bat, there
stat.
was a, yeah, I think that's totally real.
How is that a fake stat? He didn't have a walk in over 51 strikeouts. That's
It's
impressive.
actually
Hey,
50.
hey,
Yeah, 56.
Are you reading
He
it
got
from
to
a
8.
reputable source or Fox News?
ESPN.
Yeah, it's totally
Fox
real
Sports.
stat.
Depends on how
Fox
you
Sports.
want to portray it.
What do you do with that? I don't know. It's not a real stat to me. It just doesn't.
So that means hold on. So that means he striked out 58 straight batters without walking any of them.
Oh, that's what the stat means? Well, now it's real.
How is that not a real stat?
Okay, well, it's like saying a guy struck out 25 batters and then allowed a walk.
But that's not the
Yippity-doo.
record. That wouldn't
So
matter because
it's
not
just as-
the record.
It's just as real as the Josh Allen not interception stat, right? Like how many red zone trips he's taken and he's never thrown an interception in the red zone. I kind of equate it to that, where like you're doing something repeatedly game through game, not necessarily all in one game, clearly. But as that stacks up, eventually the number gets so big, where it's like you haven't allowed what since when? And I think that's
true.
kind of what this
the
stat
number
is
builds
alluding
up
to.
so much that it is a stat
Like
because it's that impressive.
straight games without having to sit due to injury, or I totally consider it a real stat.
Well, that's a good segue into Eichel.
Right?
That's
Game start.
No, straight games to sit without an injury.
oh.
Speaking of injuries,
So Eichel's not getting traded anytime soon.
I think it'd be hard.
I like how
pressed.
31 Thoughts starts with what we know. Jack Eichel dropped a neutron bomb, not atom. Neutron.
Neutron.
Whew. Like
That's
cataclysmic.
according to Elliot Friedman. Yeah.
So how do we think he
There
came?
was the neutron bomb.
the neutron bomb. How do we think he came across in his presser? Just tone wise, not substance, not what he said, but how he said it and the tone
Like
in
a
which
total
he used.
jerk face.
He came off that way to you too, huh?
Jerk face.
I didn't want him to come off that
Yeah.
way. I really didn't. Like it wasn't pulling for him to come off like a douche, but
He
just
always comes off like a jerk face.
he
He is very standoffish.
he seems to
He really does.
love himself more than the game. And I'm not trying to say that it's not good to love yourself. You should love yourself. Absolutely. And I know that this crosses sports lines a lot, but the guys that have
We're
deep,
talking
deep
about loving
love for the
ourselves
game.
across sport.
no, so see, some
Outside
players
sports.
love other things more than they love the game that they play. Jack Eichel is one of those people.
No, this is the
oh.
conversation we were having where the only reason
Yeah.
he's playing is because he's good at it.
It's 'cause
not
he's
because
good
he
at
actually
it. Yeah.
likes it.
I don't
If
really
you would have
love it per
listened to our
se.
past shows, like before you guys were on, you would have listened. This was a topic Noah and I had often. We didn't have a name for the type of player, though.
What do you mean?
Like we didn't have a name for the type of player. I'll just do exactly what you did to me, and repeat the exact same thing that I said before, and understand that we didn't actually say this is the type of player. We just said that we should come up with a name for it.
The Jack Eichel index.
No, it's not an index thing, right? It's a you're good at it, so you do it.
The Jack Eichel.
It's not a Jack Eichel though. I mean, there's so many players like that, right?
Yeah, and it's like it definitely.
that's why we do
crosses into multiple
podcasts.
sports.
Oh,
Are you trying to say we love the game
Crosses
more than
into
some players
everything.
do? I don't know if I can necessarily disagree with that stance. I think that there's definitely some players that we love the game more than. They just happen to be way better at it than we
Yeah.
are. So they do it. We don't. We
Yeah.
do podcasting.
Oh, definitely. But will we love it if we were as good? That's the real question.
I might love it more. Because
I
every
mean,
day
if
I'd be
I'm
trying to get better
making
at it.
Rogan money, then sure.
Megan, what?
He's
Scott
going
Rogan?
Joe Rogan podcast
Joe
money.
Rogan.
You said Scott.
I just said Rogan money.
Oh. All right.
Rogan money is stupid money.
Yeah, I mean,
I
he
think
has
I'd
an
still love
exclusive
it.
deal with Spotify, so
I would love it because of the opportunities it would afford me. I still would love what I do.
Oh,
And then the added benefit of being so good at
Endorsement.
it that people flock to try to either be on the show with me or whatever the case may be. So like to compare it to a sports player, if you love the game and you're good and you're elite, you're one of the top at what you do, like Jack Eichel would be if he had a love for the game that matched his skill level.
Kevin Costner.
think of all the people, like for the Bills, for example, right? Like how many players came back on reduced deals because they love playing with dudes that love each other and love the game. So you're kind of willing to let the financials kind of take a back seat to your overall love of the game. And I just, like you said, I don't think that's ever going to be Eichel.
Right. So what are we going to call these players? All right, that's on the list.
Yeah, we gotta.
No, where's our notebook?
I don't know.
Write it on your hand.
Okay.
All right. He's not.
I think
writing.
it should be something to the effect of,
What's the opposite of love? Hate.
Yeah.
But we can't use hate. That's
No, because that's not really what it is. It's not that they hate it per se. They just do it.
Let's just do it. So they're Nikes.
Yeah, exactly. All Nike athletes just play just to have the Nike endorsement and just because they're good at it.
They're Nike. I think we would get sued if we called them Nikes. Let's work on another one.
If love for the game is equal to or greater than the skill of the player will be successful and isn't what we're describing now. If the skill of the player is greater than the love of the game, then you get a player like Jack Eichel. So I've got the formula, but I don't have the name.
Mike said big fat phonies.
Big fat phonies? I don't know about that. Sorry, Mike. We're going to have to keep working on it.
So, well, because it's not like they... I don't know. I
Like,
mean,
to your point, it's not like they hate the game.
Yeah.
They just see it as a chore. Maybe like something with chore.
maybe they're
chore
players.
Choremen.
Yeah, choremen. Okay, that works.
Chorogamis.
That's a chorigami.
Because they're complex.
My mood is getting better. Okay.
Because of Noah.
See? In charge of morale.
In charge of morale.
Don Quixote. I'm on a mission to civilize.
But they're the anti-Don Quixote.
Wait, wasn't there a bad guy in Don Quixote?
No. It was a windmill.
Windmill players?
That's not bad.
It should be a question that every general manager asks a player when they come
Mordor. Are you a windmill player?
Are you a windmill player? This is how I pose the question as a general manager. Which do you love more? The skill set you have or the game itself?
Isn't that in the game?
What game?
The NHL.
Yes.
Yes. Do they ask that?
Yes. It's a personality type.
They do.
Where they're like, this player isn't really that good at hockey and will never be that good, but his passion,
heart,
right,
is
heart of a lion
having on your team because he's a glue guy.
Mm-hmm.
Glue guys are important.
They are. But one
thing
who
don't get ego problems
when you were doing
are the glue guys.
Right.
Because they're glue guys. They're the anchors.
Except unless they know they're the glue guy. And then it starts to fall apart.
Yeah. Because being the glue guy is a skill in itself.
Exactly. Like Andre Iguodala is a glue guy.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point he figured out that he was.
So is Trevor Ariza. Right. Mm-hmm. And they're both on the Heat.
They need a lot of glue guys with Jimmy Buckets there.
He's been a choir boy since he went on the Heat, man.
Because of the glue.
They're winning.
Without two glue guys. If he only had one glue guy.
I bet you Andre Iguodala put him in his place.
Maybe one glue guy. You're right. but they got 2 glues.
which is good for a team like that because they have a lot of young guys too.
And white guys should shoot threes.
Yeah, Tyler Hero and
Duncan Robinson.
yeah.
Robinson broke a record for most threes at his age.
I bet he did. Definitely not salty when they beat the Celtics
I'll take that
last year.
bet.
Oh, I thought he did already. I thought you
He
said
did. That's why I'll take it.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let me bet you that the Buffalo Bills are going to lose the 2020 AFC Championship to the Chiefs. Come on, $1,000.
I bet they did. Good stuff.
I just feel like the whole Eichel Sabres thing got so convoluted that it's. I don't know how it goes from here. I feel like no matter what happens, it's not going to be ideal.
Here's the problem now is that they're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
The Sabres are screwed because of the health situation. If he didn't have a health situation, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
I think he would have been gone in season, to be honest.
I think he would have been gone at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I think if he never got hurt, he would have been gone.
That's
Especially,
a very good point.
But if he never got
would
hurt
the Sabres
and was
have
never
been
out,
better?
What would they have been? And would the young guys have stepped up, or would they have still played the way that they were playing in the Kruger era?
No, they wouldn't have been better because
And would Kruger
wasn't fired until after the deadline. So they would not have been better. They would have been in the exact same place they were.
So do you trade?
Because Kruger was not fired until after.
Then yeah,
Wait, but you're
I don't see
saying
how you
you're saying like everything else is the same if Jack Eichel's healthy, right? But that's not true because your number one center would be Eichel.
We're saying that he
Kruger
would have been
got
traded
fired.
if he stayed healthy. But now that I'm thinking about it, I
that's
don't know
what
that
you
happens
guys are
because
saying.
the team
Right.
would have been more crap. Like the team that we saw over the last month or so of the season was a much different team than they were during the Kruger era. So I'm more confident that those guys can be built upon without Eichel now than I was during the Kruger era, if that makes any sense. But if he wouldn't have gotten hurt,
Yeah,
he might have kept playing. And then, I mean, just by a numbers standpoint, somebody else would have had less of an opportunity. And do we see what we saw at the end of the season had he not gotten injured? Or is he part of the problem?
the answer is yes to all of it.
He actually got injured a month before the deadline, so I was wrong. So you're right. There is the possibility.
I know I am.
Okay, but he was still. Okay, but there was a difference at that time because we didn't know still what was going on.
There was a period where we didn't know anything.
But the team did.
Yes.
But other teams didn't. It wasn't being circulated. So the other teams that are now like, no, thank you. Not until I know he's healthy. Before everything came out, they weren't thinking that.
I was saying this to Noah, like every trade anywhere is contingent on health evaluations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
but how often
even
do they
if
say
Eichel does get traded, it's happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then a medical condition comes up after the fact and the trade reverts or however they decide to proceed.
Then the player goes back to their team and is like, thanks for trading me.
In this case, the injury is such shaky ground that it almost feels like you don't even need to bring in the player for your own physical evaluation. Just what you're hearing through the grapevine and through the media is enough to have a pretty significant pause. Like, that's why GMs right now are like, yeah, I'm not touching those damaged goods until I know that those goods aren't damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's one of like the 10 best players in the league.
Okay, but
someone, all it takes is one.
Yes.
That's the thing.
I still think he would have been traded though if he wasn't hurt because Kruger was still the head coach.
And are you saying Eichel and Kruger didn't get along?
No, because you said, oh, would they have been better? And I don't think they would have been.
because you think Kruger is such a bad coach that he would have repressed Eichel's skills to that extent?
Yes.
Eichel finished the season 5th on the team in points
Okay.
while missing
Okay. What did Dahlin do?
third
What did
of the
Skinner
game.
do? What did Olofsson do? What did Reinhardt do?
Let's not put Skinner in there because he didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything because of Kruger.
No,
Which is my point.
His you look at his before Kruger and post Kruger stats, and
there was a change of
They're-
philosophy in how hockey should be played when they went from Kruger to Granado that I think no amount of talent.
I'm not
could have
dismissing
overcome.
all of that, and I'm not dismissing any of that, but I think my point, and I think Noah's missing it, is that Eichel finished 5th on the team in points,
despite
meaning that despite like at the end of the season, I'm not saying like when Kruger got fired, I'm not saying when Eichel went down with an injury. I'm saying at the end of the season, he was 5th on the Sabres in points, which like says something about how he was playing under Kruger. He was scoring, regardless of whether it was 2 goals and 16 assists or whatever it was. He was scoring.
But do we think that had a correlation to the lack of production for the rest of the team?
Okay.
Lack of production for the rest of the team. Let's see.
It's
Because
what
you
he's been
subtract-
dealing with his entire career.
You subtract
He
10.
carries the team, and there's no secondary scoring, and that's exactly what was going on under Kruger. They would have been
Then-
in the exact same place. Jack Eichel was obviously not able to carry that team because he's not as good as Connor McDavid, and we've also had this conversation where he is not 1B. He is 2 or 3.
Right. I feel like we're talking on like different planes or something.
Okay, but you're saying that there's a possibility that if Jack Eichel was healthy at the trade deadline, that he would have never been rumored and he wouldn't have been traded because the Sabres wouldn't have been better.
No, they
have been
could
better.
have been better.
Right. I'm saying they would not have been because there wasn't there wasn't secondary scoring, there wasn't defense, the goalies were injured. You had Allmark out, I'm pretty sure.
But okay, but you're going under the assumption that everything else would have happened exactly the same.
Okay, it might not. Okay, maybe they got 1 or 2 more wins, but but there's no way this team is contending for the playoffs. Like, there's no way Jack Eichel not getting hurt when he did and
But is that why
riding it out with
Kruger
the
got
team,
fired?
making them to the playoffs. No, Kruger got fired because he was in the middle of a 12-game losing streak.
Right. So would that 12-game losing streak have happened if Eichel was healthy?
Probably not. And then Kruger's still head coach, most likely, until the end of the season.
Do they win more or less games throughout the rest of the season had Eichel stayed
They
healthy
win-
and Kruger
I am-
stays coach?
I am saying that yes, they will, but it won't. But it will not have been enough to save Kruger's job, to not have Adams say, "I want to change the culture," and to have Adams say, "I only want to keep people here who want to be here." He has shown consistently throughout his career that he cannot carry a team and that he cannot do it without secondary scoring. They would have been in the playoffs already if that was the case, at least once.
So why
Because
is
McDavid did it without secondary scoring, and it was the year he scored over 100 points.
he scored 100 points this year?
It was the first year he did it though, when he won. I think it was like his second year in the league.
Okay.
And Edmonton only had like
Draisaitl,
yeah, but
who's been the MVP of the league.
okay, yes, and he did, and McDavid had pieces, but he still carried that team. He didn't have enough pieces. He carried that team to the playoffs.
I don't know. They had Zach Cassian.
They were the last seed.
It was a joke.
I know. Because, yeah, he's not that good.
Right.
But
So what we're saying is it was serendipitous
but
that you eliminated 3 people from the team, a head coach and 2 of the top players. And then the team starts functioning at a much different level than they were previous. Now, they started the season, regardless of whether Eichel was fully healthy or not, they started the season with Jack Eichel in the lineup, with Ralph Kruger coaching, and also with Taylor Hall in the lineup. And to me, and to, I would imagine, a large subsection of not just Sabres fans, but hockey fans, saw in the post Eichel injury, post Kruger firing, post Taylor Hall trade team that they played with more tenacity, more speed, more energy, more confidence, more everything that you want to see out of a team. So if all 3 of those people
I'm not
were
saying
worth their
that's
weight
untrue.
for anything, why couldn't those 3 get it out of the rest of the team? But eliminating those 3 and putting Granato in, so eliminate 3 pieces, put 1 piece in, and all of a sudden everything else is working better. Like, there's not many reasons you can come up with why that would be the case.
How much do you like Stefan Diggs?
A lot. I love Stefan Diggs. Like, I think he, from a route running standpoint, yeah, top 5 in the league at route running.
So they replace him with a rookie in Minnesota. Oh, I'm going there.
This is different. This is different.
Why?
Yes,
because
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Because in Minnesota, he was considered a diva.
Nope.
Yeah, he was.
No, I know he was, but
he was. He was considered a diva.
Yes.
He was considered like a non-team player. He was considered like all the stuff we're talking about with Eichel. He was considered like an egotistical me guy. And then he switches teams and isn't.
Yeah, and so did the same thing happen with
and as
Ryan
a top
O'Reilly.
producer.
Right. But it took 2 teams with O'Reilly because he did the same thing in Colorado.
Yeah. Okay.
Fit matters.
It still took. He still went from one team where he was called the toxic cancer, and then went on to win a cup and was like the captain.
Well, he won
the next year,
defensive player of the year, whatever it's called.
That too. The first year.
I know you don't have to preach to me about what happened with O'Reilly.
Let's go back to let's go back to the Diggs thing. All right. So Diggs leaves Minnesota. Minnesota then gets Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson performed. Don't get me wrong. Did the team that the star player was no longer playing for make the playoffs last year or not make the playoffs last year? Because what we're talking about is a team minus its star player being a better team than it was when he was in the lineup. So when you remove Diggs from Minnesota, did Minnesota improve?
No, they did the same.
I don't know their records.
I'm pretty sure they were 7-9.
Yeah, they got no better, no worse. And I think the Stefan Diggs-less Minnesota Vikings, yeah, they added Justin Jefferson, which is a good replacement, and he's gonna be a star in this league. But you found out that he wasn't removing what you considered to be a diva or an issue. It didn't improve the team like it did when you removed Eichel, Taylor Hall, and then all of a sudden the young guys step up and start performing.
But
I get the analogy.
Moved.
And in 2019, they were 10-6 and second in the NFC North.
In 2019,
yeah, when Diggs was still on the team.
Get rid of
2020, they were 7-9 when he wasn't on the team and missed the playoffs.
Okay,
they got worse.
That prove my point?
They got worse by subtraction. The Sabres got better by subtraction.
They got worse by getting rid of a fantastic player.
And the Sabres got better.
So it can happen either way is basically what we're saying.
Yeah, it absolutely can.
Well,
because there's more factors than just that.
But when it comes to the Sabres, there was a different team from when Kruger, Eichel, and that all happened. And then when Granato stepped in and guys like Cousins and Middlestat and Tage all showed that they can actually be competent. Well, at least for Middlestat and Tage, Cousins showed that he's really good
under Kruger.
under Granado.
Cousins was playing fine under Kruger.
Well, Cousins was just playing fine throughout the year, period.
Except for his injury, so we should trade him.
No, because then
hurt.
he came back from the injury and still performed at the exact same level. And didn't get hurt doing shooting.
And I don't know if you saw his presser, but he clearly loves the game.
Cousins?
Yeah.
I think that was also that he's on an entry-level contract.
Yeah, he's
No,
like, I'm
no,
gonna say
no,
whatever I need to
he's-
say. And he came off genuine.
No, he's from Whitehorse, which
That
is
too,
like
UConn.
4 people. I'll dress like Yukon Jack, right? So, and so you can see how Buffalo might be considered like a big city for him.
Yeah.
And he might feel humbled just to be able to, and he said this before in previous conversations, that he feels humbled to be able to play in the NHL, to be able to play so young. He's an anti-windmill, so the air goes out instead of going in, right? So
and
the air goes
in the beginning, going back to that point, it was like that with Eichel.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
In the beginning it was?
Yes, we just talked about this before the podcast. When he was drafted, we tanked because we had hope that we would get McDavid or Eichel.
Right.
And Eichel was supposed to come in, or McDavid, and lead us to the promised land. And that was supposed to be the missing piece. And then we fire Tim Murray and we bring in the next GM, and that's supposed to be the Darcy, the next Darcy and Ruff regime. And we're supposed to go to the playoffs. And then, okay, it doesn't work the next year, but there's still hope because we added players. And then
you understand people hated Darcy, right? Like,
yes, but
okay.
Even though people hated Darcy, he was still around for forever and created playoffs teams and brought them to the cup.
Well, that's because the owners were stable and didn't get their hands meddled and everything.
Well, then I think that goes back to Paul's point and what we said, comparing Diggs and the Jefferson to this, where there are more things that go into this. But getting back to the main point where if Jack Eichel was on the team, the Sabres would have done better. Yes, but it would not have been anything significant enough where we went, oh my God.
Okay. I think we're making we're trying to make 2 different points. Okay. I think there is the point of if Eichel's on the team, the other players don't progress. Okay. That's one of the things we're trying to say. Do we agree with that? That the other players don't improve at the rate that they improved with Eichel out?
Yes.
Or are we saying that was Kruger?
I think that was more Kruger than it was Eichel. But there is something to talk about there with Eichel because for whatever reason, we have never had secondary scoring. And then he gets removed, Kruger gets fired.
That's because when your team, so when your team gets worse, you actually think it can look better. And I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying in the general eye, when your team gets worse, it can look better, like you're getting secondary scoring. But the amount of goals before Kruger per game versus the amount of goals after Kruger per game could not have been much difference.
I disagree with that completely. Because they had 5-4 games, 4-3 games. They did not.
They had that under Kruger.
No, they did not. They did not score under Kruger. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of this.
Let's go back to February. Look, 4.
Okay, 6-4, then 2-1, then.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do, and this is gonna be painstaking. And I'm sorry, people.
How about you get out a calculator, and I'm gonna read to you.
No, because these stats actually exist on the internet. So I'm not going to do that. So the Sabres' final 2 games were against Pittsburgh. They got shut out 1-0 and they lost 8-4.
Okay.
How is
they
that
scored
any
4
different?
goals.
How is that any different than Kruger?
It's different than Kruger.
You just told me that the first game under Kruger, they scored 4.
Okay. And then the next game, they scored 1.
Right. So that's
then the
one
one
more
after
goal.
that-
That's one more goal than they scored in the last 2 games under Granato. So taking a 2-game set.
So we're going to compare
How
the first
how much of
2
that takes
games of
into
the season
account?
when we were all hopeful and had Taylor Hall actually do something and Jack Eichel actually do something.
And then
And
they
they
almost put up the same
scored one
numbers
more
without
goal.
the 2 of them. Right? Like
Okay. And then they were shut out 2 games later.
I know we can do this the whole time. I was joking about a 2-game sample size.
Okay. Just making sure.
You're like so fired up. You're just not listening though.
I think they clearly performed better under Granato. I mean, if they didn't, Granato wouldn't be a part of the coaching search. As much as he is, because according to Frank Savelli, he has better than a 50-50 shot.
Mhm.
He probably has a very good shot. If the Sabres did not improve and did not show improvement under Granato, he would not be back. He would not have a chance to be back.
It wouldn't even be talked about.
He would not
He'd
have
already-
been talked about at all because
would
he
have already
would have
left
been
Buffalo.
talked about as a
You're
Kruger
not
assistant.
listening.
You're trying to say it was the same or worse. And it wasn't, though.
But they got their scoring from different places.
And they didn't do that under Kruger.
They didn't get scoring from different places.
They didn't get secondary scoring.
No, it was all Sam Reinhart, right?
It was Sam and it was Jack until he was not hurt. It was the same thing, just a different year.
But Sam finished with 25 goals and 15 of them came under Granato.
Okay, that helps my point.
No, it doesn't. You're just replacing Sam with Jack. I mean, Jack for Sam.
Who did the rest of the team play better with? Sam Reinhart
I guess.
or Jack
Okay,
Eichel?
I'm going to give up because my point isn't coming across. All I'm saying is the scoring would have come from different places, but they would have been terrible either way.
Mm-hmm. So I guess
But
overall,
it would have come from different. But I'm saying teams can look bad even if the scoring is even. Your top scorer had 40 points, 25 goals, 15 assists. Your 25 goals was your top goal scorer, which was good for the league. Okay. But your next top goal scorer had 13. And 8 of those were in like the first month.
Okay. But if Jack, like, okay, but doesn't you saying that you're just replacing Sam with Jack then just kind of prove the point, though, that Jack doesn't need to be on the team?
Take McDavid. Okay, we're not using McDavid. We agree that we're not using
Don't
McDavid.
use McDavid because he is a god among men. Let's move to
Okay. All right.
Malkin.
So we're not moving to Malkin. Malkin isn't close to the same player that.
Matthews.
Fine, take Matthews off the Leafs. Are they going to replace him? He led the league in goals.
You could make the case more with Toronto, I think.
Matthews is.
Would
you trade Eichels for Matthews right now?
Yeah.
Straight up?
Yeah.
I mean, Toronto would get robbed in that deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Very
Right.
much so. But I'm
Matthews, I don't think is like ever been hurt. I mean, he is consistent.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes.
So how would Toronto replace Matthews? You're saying if Toronto pulls Matthews, that all of these guys will just jump in and they'll score at the same rate.
Well, okay, let's do this
Because
then.
that was what you said. That's what you said. That's what you said by pulling Eichel out. That they'll score at the same rate.
If you took Matthews out, does the rest of the team rally around and put up similar numbers in totality than when he was
That's
in
what
the
I'm
lineup?
asking.
Because I think in the post Jack Eichel
Does the
injury,
team score at the same rate?
it seemed pretty similar. It seemed like they're a more functional team that was putting up similar numbers, but having greater results without Eichel in the lineup.
Austin Matthews didn't even lead his team in points.
I'm not talking about points. I said goals.
Yeah, you did say goals.
So there's 21 goals that's missing.
I mean, Reinhart led his team in points, but didn't lead them in assists. And he was a minus 28. How do players get to a minus 28 in a 54 game season?
By playing for Ralph Kruger for more than half a season.
They had a lot of.
All right, let's move on. So the Bills schedule came out.
I got
Look,
something.
we
funny
need to
here for
do.
the
We all
schedule.
need to do more homework in order to have this conversation. Honestly, we need to do pre Kruger, post Kruger, Donato, potato, like
Potato.
yeah, Donato. Like
We would have to like make the entire show in regards to this topic so that
and we would have to come in
every
prepared.
single with everything that we would need to be able to make our arguments without having to like peek at things on the fly. I agree, but I think that just goes to show how much there is on that bone still to discuss. Because it's like I alluded to earlier, it's a lot more complicated than just the removal or addition of players and coaches. Like there's certain things that can be explained by the removal of Ralph Kruger. There are certain things that can be explained with Jack Eichel being injured and other players having more opportunity. There's just so many ways to go that we would have to do a whole 2-hour show on it.
Well, I mean, I'm the one who preaches the Patrick Ewing theory.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
So I get it. And I get what people are saying. Okay. But there's also the theory that that's wrong.
That's fair.
I mean, basically, you guys are arguing pro Patrick Ewing theory, and I'm arguing against it, even though I generally preach it.
I just don't.
Today has just been the Twilight Zone.
See how there would be a difference because we haven't seen a difference, and that's my point.
But okay,
we already saw a year into Kruger, and we did the same thing we've done every year.
Okay, so if they fired Kruger and Eichel was still in the lineup, would they have been better?
I think that question is yes. I think Eichel would have played better because they would have been playing a different brand of hockey. But I guess the question ultimately becomes, would that different brand of hockey been conducive to Jack Eichel's skill set and play style?
And we don't know because we've never had a head coach who said, just go play.
Yep.
Every single one has had a thing that and has said, my players have to adapt to me. I mean, it's a cop out, but that question is unanswerable.
It
is a cop out, but it is an unanswerable question.
It is a cop out answer. It is answerable.
I mean, probably
it's a hypothetical answer, though. I mean,
every single player improved in Granato's system. Down looked night and day different. Middlestat was scoring. Tage was scoring. Olofsson scored not on the power play for once in his life.
Yeah, he had like 3 goals under Donato. And 10 under Kruger.
and they were all on the power play.
And you know who had the assists on those goals?
Oh, Jack Eichel. Okay, so Victor Olofsson doesn't play better with Jack Eichel. He can be traded too. He can go with them.
I'm fine with that. He should.
Fine.
I win the argument.
You don't win the argument. You win the argument for one player.
But it's not about
Bill's
players.
Bill's schedule.
Bill's schedule.
Over my shoulder.
Nice. That's beautiful.
I'm happy with the schedule. To segue to that,
21-0.
I think it was said that we have the easiest 4-game stretch to end a season in the league this year, and I believe that we only faced 3 top 10 defenses from last year. We faced 7 in 2020. 3 of those 7 resulted in 300+ yard passing games from Josh Allen. So instead of having 7 opportunities against top 10 defenses, he's only have 3. And the backstretch of this year's schedule compared to last year is night and day different, because the backstretch of this schedule is just, Carolina over here.
Yeah.
Carolina, New England, Atlanta, and the Jets.
And the Jets fan boo.
The booze. Like alcohol.
Yeah.
And they have a game on Halloween.
Halloween.
Thanksgiving, and I think day after Christmas.
Well, they only have 4 primetime games, so the league doesn't respect us.
Oh yeah, they shunned us.
Yeah, the day
completely.
after
Zero
Christmas
respect.
at New England.
God,
That's a Christmas present.
The depravity.
That's the league saying, "Here's another W for you."
Yeah. Well, though, did you say you think they end with the 4 easiest games?
I think that the last 4 games. What did I read?
Relatively easy opponents.
They're Carolina, Patriots, Falcons, Jets. Yeah.
I think strength of schedule wise, as
they're tied for 23rd
total, but I think the last 4 games is either the most favorable, like the easiest, or it's tied for the easiest when you take into consideration their 2019 records.
It's so hard with strength of schedule.
100%, because you're not getting the same team year after year.
Yes. Like in the NFL, right. Especially. Yeah, and NBA.
Well, think about it. The Panthers have Darnold now.
Right.
And you have no idea what Darnold's going to do under them.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I didn't like that they're playing Jacksonville in week 9. That gives Lawrence enough time to at least acquaint himself to the league. I would have much rather played Jacksonville 3 games in.
Yeah.
But week 9 gives them enough time to
Are you worried about Zach Wilson then on week 10?
I was about to say that.
That's the alcoholics. So I'm fine.
The Jets fan boo drunkenly.
Or they're
the New York England alcoholics
at the end of the season, which is mind blowing that we don't face them until
I like that though.
13 and 16.
13 and 16.
Yeah.
I like that though.
2 December games against New England.
But I like having the AFC
and you throw Tom Brady in there.
Yeah.
New England
squashed right in the middle.
Brady, Panthers,
Darnold,
New England,
and then New England again.
Arnold, right?
Darnold, yeah.
That's amazing.
But I like that though, having the AFC East games later on in the season instead of opening at the Jets.
I would prefer that.
Yeah,
I would rather start with.
We're done owning Miami at the end of October. It makes me sad.
Right, that's true. We can have 2
rompings.
divisional wins before we even face the Patriots and the Jets.
And in the second matchup, we're coming off a bye.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone is down on Miami.
No. I'm not saying. No, I'm saying we could.
Okay.
I don't. I think Miami and the Patriots. I think we might drop one, but I'm saying there is a possibility that before we even go ahead and face the Patriots and the Jets, we're already 2-0 in the division, and that would be great.
Yeah, to have two in hand before we even, reach,
Right, you have 2 in hand on Miami, who might be
week
your
9?
competition for the playoffs.
10 would be the Jets.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oh,
you would have the 2 before week 9. Because week 9 is Jacksonville.
Gotcha.
I like the back-to-back Kansas City Tennessee matchup. That to me is going to speak volumes about where we are as a litmus test compared to last season. Because we dropped those 2 last year. You pick up one of those, I'm gonna feel like, okay, a little bit different team now. Let's see what happens come playoff time.
I think they beat Tennessee this time, but I don't think they beat Kansas City.
I want it to be so close. I don't want it to be as disparaging as it was last season. I want it to be like
the score didn't
and it didn't reflect it. No.
Yeah.
I want it to seem like these are 2 powerhouses going punch for punch.
Yeah.
Like I want a back and forth, like the whole time everybody's on the edge of their seat. I want game of the year candidate that week. I don't need us to win that game. I need us to win one of the playoffs.
54-51 from like 2 years ago when they faced the Rams. That's what I want. Where the Rams had 454 yards and the Kansas City had 500.
Here's the
I want people to be salivating for the playoff matchup.
Well, everyone is, because they're both night games. So even the league knows.
Mm-hmm.
That would be hilarious if the Bills start 0-4.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Bill's Twitter would be set ablaze
to like Houston,
to Pittsburgh, Miami, Washington, and
Fitz
Houston.
comes in week 3 and knocks us on our ass.
Imagine they're like bad losses too,
right?
And it looks like Josh Allen looks like rookie Josh Allen, and the defense can't stop a beach ball.
I just don't see that kind of regression out of this team. There's too much top down talent.
No,
and
Vegas
the II is through the roof. Yeah, Vegas has them at 11 and a half. Is it 10 and a half or 11?
I were at 11.1.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I saw 11 something today.
1?
Yeah, they're on a new stat.
Okay.
No, the Bills were second highest with potential wins. 11.1. 11.1 potential wins, because they'll win 1/10 of their 10 losses. Wait, that doesn't make sense. But they'll
out of
win
2.5 games, we'll win 1 quarter.
Yep. That's right. That makes
exactly
sense.
It.
and then but the highest team was Kansas City with 11.9, and the Bills were second.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they slated to have 9 last year? Isn't that what people had them at? 9 wins? Was it 10?
I think it was 10. I'm pretty sure it was 10.
9, 10. Now we're at 10, 11, right?
Yeah. Because we won 13, so maybe we'll win 16.
Well, it is a 17-game season.
We'll go to 12.
We would be the only team in NFL history to go 20-0 in a season, right? Because if you win every regular season game, you skip the wild card clearly because you're gonna be the number 1 seed. So you're only gonna have 2 playoff games. So it was 19. Like before in the 16-game season, you could only go 19-0, and
right.
The Patriots fell short of that because Eli Manning Eli and Tyree went crazy.
David Tyree.
Yep.
So
and that was in fewer games. So like this would be an unprecedented thing, and I think that having an undefeated season is by a quarterback, any quarterback. I'm not just talking Josh Allen. I think the only way you ever have a chance at some point in your career entering the Tom Brady GOAT discussion is if you do something he hasn't done. Like let's just say hypothetically, either a quarterback that's already in the league. Oh, I said GOAT. Yeah. That was fair.
At least you know.
Yeah, I accept it. Let me try to rephrase that. in order to be in the same stratosphere as Tom Brady
was fun.
is held, and that was cool. Felt like I was on part of the interruption for a minute. But I think in order for anyone to ever reach a point in their career where they can be put in the same category as Tom Brady as a quarterback, one, you have to win multiple Super Bowls. But even saying you win the
Right.
same amount of Super Bowls, the only way you eclipse Tom Brady is if you do the one thing he was never able to do. Knock on wood, because I don't want him to do it before he retires. And that's to have an undefeated season. And knowing that
Imagine he
Tom
doesn't.
Brady is, oh my God, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know.
That
I
would
don't
be
think he'll-
hilarious.
Could you
I would
imagine?
love this.
He would
honestly,
retire.
I hope
He would
that's
retire.
how
He'd
he
be
goes
gone.
out. He just does it next year, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, I've
Done.
done everything. Bye."
Yep, that's it for me.
Later, suckers.
You know what was crazy? I was thinking about the other day. He's won more than 10% of all Super Bowls in the history of Super Bowl. Or no,
No.
yeah, no, it's over 10. It's like 15%, right? There's been 50. What are we on? 56.
Tom Brady.
This is 56. The upcoming. No.
I don't know. Tom Brady. It's either the Super Bowl or a championship game. And Tom Brady has a great. I think it's the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
the next one
Yeah,
will
it's
be
56.
56.
Okay. Tom Brady has a greater chance of making a Super Bowl than a player has making a 3 in the NBA.
It's such a
'cause
wild
he's-
stat.
He's made 10 of them.
He's made like 47% of Super Bowls or something.
Since he's
No.
been in the league.
Since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the 3-point percentage is
It's
like
like
at 44% or something.
No, it's not. It's lower than that.
Well, whatever. It's whatever it is, but it's lower than Tom Brady. So
Tom
he
Brady
has a
has
better
won-
chance of making a Super Bowl than a player in the NBA has making a 3.
He's won just short of 13% of all Super Bowls all time. It's nuts, man. I want him to go back to back. I want him to get there again. I want the Bills to get there this time too.
And
Like,
lose
that's
to him?
got to be a pipe. No,
Oh,
of course not. Come on.
Well, when you said back to back, I thought you meant win.
Back to back apperances, not
Gotcha.
back to back wins. We can't allow that.
We
I
need
just
David
want-
Tyree to be our assistant, our offensive assistant going into the playoffs.
Here's where I stuck the gum on my helmet.
As you can see, I put it right on the red stripe of the helmet, so that my pink
Right, so
gum
nobody would
blended in.
know.
Nobody could tell. You have a white helmet. Choose spearmint.
it's racist. Wait,
Okay.
I'm an equal opportunity gum chewer.
all right. Are we ready to do this? Howard picks the Bills.
Yeah.
No, you need to get a notebook.
I got a whiteboard here I can keep track on too.
What about this whiteboard? Do we have a marker?
Or is this going to be like the AT&T commercial where she uses permanent marker on a whiteboard?
Well, no, because I know how to read. Sometimes.
That whiteboard is a calendar.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's just dates in here.
Keep going. Keep going.
Reach the end.
That was fun.
This is a weird episode. Woo! All right. Howard picks the Bills time.
Howard picks the Bills. Except we're Howard. So you keeping track of everything?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Then Steph Curry has
Mm.
of making it
That okay, so we'll play in his 10th Super Bowl. He will have played it in 18% of all Super Bowls. He'd advanced to the Super Bowls in 10 of his 21 NFL seasons, which is 47.6%. That number goes over 50% if you take out the 2008 season when Brady missed all but part of one game with a torn ACL. That means statistically, Brady has a better chance of finishing the season in the Super Bowl. Well, this is Steph Curry, but I think it's still true, period, than Steph Curry does of making a three-pointer.
Well, Steph Curry is the greatest 3-point shooter of all time.
Yeah, so like if you
percentage-wise,
it'd be lower for
That's
everybody
true.
else.
right?
Yeah, because his shooting percentage is 43.3%.
That's an asinine stat too. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome, though.
Could you imagine just knowing that in your career you're destined to make one out of every two shots you shoot from 3-point range?
3 times.
Yikes. No wonder he's pulling up from 30 feet deep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, you're me.
I mean, tree, meet apple.
No, that was right.
I know that was right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, Game Day 716 fans, check it out. We're watching his father teach
Father and
son.
son.
After 4 comes 5.
After 4 comes 5. Sometimes he skips 8, so I try to help him. All right, Paul.
All right.
Week 1, Bills Steelers.
I think this one is clearly the Bills. I've got the Bills in this one. I don't know what kind of score prediction yet, but
that's okay.
Definitely, I've got the Bills against Pittsburgh. I don't.
Bills.
You give me Josh Allen against. I want to call him things that I shouldn't call him on air, so we'll just call him Ben. We'll stick with Ben.
I really hope they play Renegade.
Me too. Oh my gosh, me too.
They will. I think the Bills are getting more savvy at their social media.
Yeah.
Their TikToks are hilarious.
So at least the Bills are. Week 2 at Miami.
At Miami, I think we week 2. Week 2, just getting used to his weapons. I'm taking the Bills in that one too. Yep.
Yeah.
Week 3.
Yep.
Fitz.
The WTF at home.
Fitz coming to Buffalo. I think this one will be a close one just because everybody will be on the edge of their seats towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter when Fitz magic is starting to sprinkle pixie dust over the field to do what he does. But I think that Josh Allen and the Bills hold on and we end up 3-0 after week 3.
No argument here.
Yeah.
Week 4, or should we just skip the Texans discussion and move on?
This one is interesting. For obvious reasons. So I'm going to say that I would enjoy this game more.
No conditionals. Like if
I think regardless, I think the Bills are going to win this one. I think it'll be a more entertaining contest, and I think the story will be a lot better for this one. I'll be more enthused to watch this game if it's a rematch of the playoff loss to Watson.
The teams,
if Watson's not playing,
different.
I know, but if Watson isn't playing, I don't think I really care.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be like, okay, well, it's gonna be a win. And I'll half watch the game.
They've never had another chance.
You won't. You'll watch it.
I'll watch it. But I'm just saying, for storyline purposes, I would be more into the game emotion. I'll be more emotionally invested if Watson's playing.
That's true.
Isn't it
Texans? If
you'll be like playing. This.
If Watson isn't playing,
beat the Texans if he's not playing, and if he is playing, I'll be a little bit more gung-ho.
Tyrod.
Yeah, Tyrod.
If it's not Watson, it's Tyrod. So I'm gonna be emotionally invested anyways.
Yeah.
What did that happen?
Yeah. That was their contingency plan.
Yep.
Just like Bortles is pretty big.
Who's the better replacement for
the boatman himself?
So
Bortles. 4-0.
Wait, 4-0.
Yeah.
Okay, we all put in the win.
Yeah.
Before we continue, is this the fist pump? I mean, I'm not asking if it's the fist pump, but I'm saying is the fist pump or the Sailors. What would you call it?
Like aw shucks, I guess. Or
It's not an aw
come on,
shucks.
guys,
It's like
we can do it.
yippee!
Yeah.
Which one is more of a celebratory higher end? I don't know how.
No. I was saying like this one is like my oh come on, like beat the Texans. Like I'm like normally invested, and then like if Watson plays, I'll be
this
more
is
like,
normally no, because you actually did this if Watson plays, and you did this if he doesn't play.
No. I did it for both, and then you made fun of me because I thought you were saying like a sexual innuendo, so that's why I went with this.
He's like, let me change that up real quick.
I was
it
like,
doesn't look
wait.
I'm pantomiming something.
Isn't Watson's sexual innuendo like this? No, like
No, it's more like no. Please stop.
that's what I was saying. Like
Oh, okay. Breaking down walls.
He wasn't trying to massage anybody.
breaking barriers.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Don't
Allegedly.
sue us, please.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Because
Yeah.
if so, you can have my car. Wink.
No, you really can. You can have
You would
Noah's
just-
car.
He would sue you for the
that should've been
name.
like, there's nothing wrong with the wink.
He would sue you for the
Definitely knows
name and
no
number
damn.
of your favorite masseuse.
You have one, don't you?
The
Perfect.
place.
Yeah.
That one time I went.
That one time. I sent
And
him
notice
on
how long
on-
ago was that?
for your bachelor, basically your bachelor present.
Notice nobody's come out against Noah and made any accusations because
Exactly.
Noah knows how to behave when he's getting
Oh,
massaged.
no.
Because I paid her.
Rewind.
Are you
Rewind.
sure you were at a massage parlor?
We're live. Hold on. It's because I paid her. I think Watson probably paid them all.
I think you paid him a little bit more than the normal price.
Is it justifiable to say that he probably tipped him too?
He might have given just the tip.
Just
we
the
don't
tip.
know.
Allegedly. Week 4 is gonna be awesome.
Oh my god! Imagine we get like a cease and desist letter in the mail or something.
We'll just be like, no. Sorry. Sorry. If
No
we'll-
hablo inglés.
if so they send it in Spanish.
Yo necesito stop.
No.
Oh man.
You need the maid from Family Guy just to be like, no.
No.
No, or
Mr.
or
Todd
like
no
this,
live here. No,
or like
no.
the Sabres. You know, whenever they don't want to have a press conference, like
They just end the Zoom.
no.
That's enough, guys. Thanks. Mike Harrington.
What
pissed us
letter?
off.
Guys, Deshaun Watson just jumped in our chat.
Nice. That would get us some hits. Oh, that wasn't
Ooh.
even intentional.
The best puns are on the unintended ones.
Oh.
Oh man. You gotta
All right.
lay down for it though. Never
You have to really take it in well.
Okay.
at Kansas City.
Since Noah bombed that joke, we'll let it lie there. So the Bills get out of the 1 o'clock.
Looking pretty good at 4-0. That's what I got.
Pretty
him
good
at.
at 4-0.
Is it where you guys got him at right now too?
Yeah, we're all
Everybody
on the
4-0?
same page. So then they go to Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes has broken his leg. No, I'm just kidding.
Bills by $1 billion then.
No, but wouldn't Kansas City be as good?
Ha!
Wouldn't the other players just step up in his place?
Only if you get rid of the
Very
coach
different
too.
than hockey.
Football's very different than hockey. he says.
You'd have to get rid of Mahomes and Travis Kelsey, and Andy Reid would have to kick rocks, and someone else on the team would have to step up.
If Patrick Mahomes got hurt, there's no way Kansas City is doing anything remotely as good without him in the lineup with Matt Moore.
Why? Maybe Edwards-Hilaire runs for 2,500 yards because they changed
And maybe
the
my
way
dog
they
turns
play.
into a unicorn.
Okay, when's the last time a running back did that and brought a
17
team to a playoffs?
17 games.
Oh, that's right.
We're
We're
going to
see
see all
records
kinds of
broken
records broken.
because we have an extra
Okay.
game. So figure another extra
right,
100
but
plus
my
yards.
point is when have you seen the reason a team made the playoffs be the running back and not the quarterback in recent memory?
The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Titans don't make the playoffs if it's Tannehill and there's no Derrick Henry. They might win 8
Sure,
games.
but at least Tannehill is competent. Matt Moore is not as good as Ryan Tannehill.
That's true too, though.
Okay.
So I don't think it matters because Tannehill was at least still able to complete passes and still be able to do things.
I
Matt
would
Moore
argue
had
that
one good
Joe
had
Thuney,
one good drive.
Joe Thuney is better than any offensive lineman Tennessee has.
Okay.
And I mean, wouldn't you load the box playing Tennessee and in theory have looser coverage on the back end? So Tannehill is what, throwing to 4 guys when there's 3 guys and a safety covering them?
Right.
Whereas you play someone like the Bills with a limited run game or limited effectiveness in the run game last year.
Right.
And you weren't seeing 8-man boxes. You were seeing people rush 4 and keep everybody back in coverage. And then you have to pick apart zone defense. And I don't know that Tannehill would be as good at that if he was playing differing fronts because they didn't have a running game. I think the running game helps Tannehill out immensely. And I think if the Dolphins had a running game as good as the Titans running game is, that he would have succeeded in Miami because I think the skill set's always been there.
He threw for 33 touchdowns last year.
So?
With loaded boxes.
Yeah, that
and 7 interceptions.
That just proves his point.
What? No, his point was that he wouldn't be able to read defenses, but he can't.
No, he could read defenses. He had. So
he was playing against lesser defensive backs
than a team like the Bills were.
Than a team like the Bills or Kansas City were.
Yeah.
Okay. He threw for 27 in 2014 with Miami, and he threw for 24 in 2013 and 24 in 2015.
See, so he sucked.
To a game.
Yeah, and that wasn't good enough for Bills fans before Allen got here.
Or else Tyrod would still be employed and wouldn't be playing for the Texans to back up. I mean, start in place of.
Okay, but Tannehill is a competent quarterback.
Yeah, I just don't know that they would have been a good enough team all around to make the playoffs if you don't have Derrick Henry. I think I think the Jack Eichel, Stephon Diggs conversation we've been having for Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah,
Derrick Henry's that player.
I'm saying Kansas City can't do
the pass
that.
game changes. Yeah, Kansas City.
I was
run
confused
like that,
what you were trying to say because I was agreeing. Derrick Henry, yes, is a monster and did what he did.
Okay, you were confused then.
Yeah, I was because I was saying Kansas City.
You were confused.
Yeah, I was. It's fine. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, that Derrick Henry did that, but also outside of Derrick Henry, nobody's done.
Yeah, not since. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Name him. If you're gonna look at me like that, give me the running back's name.
O.J. Simpson.
Okay. I'm talking in recent memory, not when all they did was run the ball.
AP was the last one across 2000, right?
Yeah. And AP was also a monster.
Yeah. So
I don't know where you're going with this.
Well,
but you're saying my hunch is that we could go every single year into the playoffs and say one team was carried in by their running game.
I disagree.
That's just my hunch that we could look at the playoffs and go at least one of these 12 teams that made it were carried in by their running game or were primarily carried by their running game.
Only 8 players in the history of the league have eclipsed 2,000 yards in a season.
Right.
Can you name 8? Can you name all 8?
Ooh.
Between the two of you? I've got it pulled up right now.
O.J.
No
Simpson.
cheating.
Right.
O.J. Simpson was the first one in 1973.
Right.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry was the most recent in 2020.
Peterson, we already said.
So
Peterson was the second most recent in 2012.
Emmitt Smith?
Emmitt Smith is not one of them.
No.
Thurman didn't do it.
Thurman didn't do it.
I'll tell you that there was
Davis?
Terrell
Terrell
Davis.
Davis did in 1998 with the Denver
Good job.
Broncos. That's 4. You should know all these names.
That's 4, so we're halfway there. Okay.
I'll give you a hint. Derrick Henry isn't the only Titans player on the list.
CJ.
CJ 2K, number 5. It's in his name.
Did that guy who played for the Patriots that was really good at running back ever do that? Travis Green?
Mm-mm.
I have never even heard that name.
Okay. Wasn't his name Travis? Am I making up a good running back on the Patriots from the 90s?
Yeah.
You might be.
I think you are.
You might be.
Has there ever been a good Patriots running back?
Yeah, there has.
Is he on that list?
No.
There's only 3 left.
Um.
One in the 80s, one in the 90s, one in the early 2000s.
Okay. 80s. Dickerson.
Dickerson is correct. 2 more. Dickerson did it in 84.
90s.
If it wasn't
List all
Emmett,
guys
who would
we
it be
should
in the
know.
Emmett? If it wasn't Emmett, who would it be in the 90s?
I was thinking Sanders, but I don't remember that happening.
Barry Sanders, 1997, 2,053 yards.
Huh.
2053. Jeez.
OJ got 2003
In only 14 games. Everybody else
in
did it in
14
16.
games. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. So he would have been at 2025.
There's one more left.
Those last 2 games in the 2000s.
Yeah, he was averaging 143, which
Peyton
was
Hillis?
good, like 15 more than everyone else. Peyton Hillis is not correct.
Yeah.
oh, he was on Madden once because he did really well. I couldn't remember why he did what he did though.
He didn't do okay. 2000s.
Lynch isn't on there, right? No.
Nope,
Mark
it's not
Ingram?
Lynch. Nope.
No, early 2000s.
Early 2000s, Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, he's on the Ravens?
He
was on
Ray
the
Rice.
Ravens.
Nope. Before
Yeah.
Ray Rice.
Oh,
2003 to be exact.
Before Ray Rice.
2066 yards.
McGahee?
Nope.
Wasn't he on the Ravens?
He was, but he didn't get 2000.
yeah.
I'm just naming people.
Who is it?
I don't
Who is
know.
it?
Jamal Lewis.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I never would have gotten that one.
I never would have got there either. Oh,
Yeah, he was
I
probably
remember
the-
when that happened. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Should have been a while.
Yep.
All
He
right.
also won Offensive Player of the Year that year. Only one of the
Wow.
people on this list didn't win Offensive Player of the Year, and it was Eric Dickerson.
I was gonna say, was it Dickerson?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why, but I felt like it was him.
What year was it?
84, I think.
84.
That's
Four
the
out
year
of
That's the year Marino went off.
Here's a crazy stat. 4 out of the 8 that have run for 2,000 yards won MVP that season. O.J. Simpson, Barry Sanders,
Henry.
Terrell Davis, and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry didn't win MVP in the same season he went over 2000.
No.
No, that just happened last year, and Aaron Rodgers won MVP.
Oh yeah, I thought they happened at the same time. Okay. All right, let's finish discussion.
All right, here we go. At Kansas City, we never said. I think
At
that the
Kansas
Bills
City.
lose this one, but it's going to be a close one.
I do as well. I want 54-51. Thanks.
I'll take the win.
like,
Oh.
ooh.
Okay.
At Tennessee.
Dickin, yep. 8 days later, the Bills
On
are
Monday
in
Night Football.
Monday Night Football with Drew Brees, or is he Sunday night?
He's
No, yeah, he's
he's
Sunday night.
Thanksgiving. Drew Brees is. Oh no, yeah, you're talking commentating. I'm like Drew Brees. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He's on NBC, so that's
Sunday
Is
night.
that
Sunday night. So we
So we'll
would
see
have
him in
gotten
Kansas City.
We would have
We'll see him in
gotten
Kansas
Drew
City,
Brees
yeah.
in Kansas City. So who's
Peyton.
not Romo. No, Peyton's not doing it.
who's ESPN?
Oh, it's Steve Levy and somebody.
Herb Street, is he doing it now?
I think he's doing it now. Yeah, I think that's right. ESPN Monday Night Football. It okay. Oh, it's
Louis
Levy,
Riddick,
Grease, and Reddick. Yeah, that's right. 'Cause I remember
Greasy.
the guy who did it with. I remember Riddick being really good,
Yeah.
and Levy was good too.
They were talking about replacing Riddick with Spears.
But I thought that was only if he left.
If he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Spears would be the guy to replace him.
Okay. I'm taking the win.
Yeah, at Tennessee, I'm taking the win for sure.
Okay, I'm going with a loss. Ryan Tannehill's too good.
It's competent. Oh, I thought. What did I think their bye was week 9?
Okay, week 7, bye.
Bye.
NSYNC.
Bye.
Oh, wait.
Bye,
So
bye.
that's, let's see, that's October 24th. It's a perfect time for a concert in Buffalo.
Yeah, that would be before it gets cold.
An NSYNC reunion.
NSYNC reunion concert. No crap. The last time they played at the stadium, I was there.
I believe you. We've all been to concerts.
It was decades ago, but I was there.
I bet it was awesome.
It was. I remember it. I was probably.
I want to see Coldplay.
They were awesome. I was in the first row for that in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I don't know.
July 2nd, 2000. So I would have been 14.
Nice.
21 years ago. Holy crap.
Did you know all the dance moves? Like the
I was in the stands dancing. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't no shame in my game.
bye, 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 bye.
The whole thing. The whole thing.
Just sitting there.
For sure. I was just known as P before. It was before I earned my dubs.
The dubs.
I didn't
All
earn
right,
my
week
dubs that
8,
day.
Miami at home. What do we think?
I think Miami at home we'll take. I think that I think we take Miami at home.
That's a
If we,
loss.
we'll beat them
I think-
in Miami, and I think we're gonna sweep Miami.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: I have us going 5-1 in the division.
Okay. At Jacksonville. I feel like that's going to be a big Bills contingent there.
I bet you that's going to be their gotcha game this year. I just have this feeling.
So take the loss.
I am. I think
But then
they're
we're gonna
the
have to spend the
gotcha
next
game.
like 3 or 4 weeks listening to how
Trevor Lawrence
beat
has
Josh Allen.
surpassed Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
right.
Oh,
God,
but
I'm
just
saying
have
a
this
win
feeling
just because I can't.
that seems like the perfect game for them to drop. Rookie,
he's gonna sprain his ankle.
9 weeks in, getting all his weapons. They're probably finally starting to look competent.
all-star tight end.
Exactly, Tim Tebow. Next, Travis Kelce.
At the New York Booze. That's a
Win.
win.
Yeah,
That's a win. We're sweeping the Jets too.
and the New York fans are they passed out. Never mind.
They're hammered.
They're drunk. They
left.
stopped.
Sorry.
They stopped tuning in before we mentioned them the first time.
They roofied themselves.
They did.
Colts at home.
I'm not afraid of Carson Wentz. Wentz in Buffalo. I take Buffalo.
Wentz
I don't
in
know.
Buffalo. Oh, that's like.
Do we think Wentz
you
is an
use
upgrade or a
Wentz
downgrade over
as that?
Rivers? Because their team is
It's
relatively
a
the same besides
TBD.
that. It's fair.
No, once
Get him out of Philly,
best
see what he's
season
got.
with Frank Reich.
He had his best season with Frank Reich. This is
I-
true.
Mm.
I'm gonna take the L on this one. I think I have this really good feeling the Colts are gonna be real good, and Wentz is gonna be on like a Tom Brady-esque tear.
I don't know what that means. A Tom Brady-esque tear per se.
Show the whole world I still got it, which he
Okay.
did in Tampa.
I mean, how many times did this guy need to lose his job to somebody else because he got hurt? Only for the quarterback that replaces him. Who's the backup in Indy right now? That's probably who's going to finish the season, right?
Isn't that
Jacoby
Brissett?
Brissett.
So Jacoby Brissett. I'm
He's not
making
gonna
a
be
bold
the starter
prediction.
next
here's
year.
Here's my hot take. Jacoby Brissett will start 2 or more games in the 2021 season for the Indianapolis Colts.
Let me make sure that's
Whether it's because of injury or otherwise, I'm just saying Jacoby Brissett will start 2 or more games for the Indianapolis Colts in the
It may
2021
not be
season.
Brissett.
I'm thinking it might not be Brissett.
I think Brissett was, now I'm feel.
It's not.
It's that guy they
It's
drafted.
Eason and Morton.
Eason.
Eason.
That's the guy they drafted. Yeah.
I still don't see Wentz starting all 17 games.
I don't either.
Okay. So is this a game he starts or he doesn't?
I think this is a game he starts and then he gets injured.
I think he gets injured in this game and we take
In
it
this
in the fourth
game?
quarter.
In this game or the
By
week after.
Jerry Hughes, former
No,
Colt.
Groot gets to him. Groot gets to him. His
But we
gangly
win?
tree trunk arms.
The Colts?
Yeah.
It's a home game at 1:00. I think they beat the Colts.
Okay.
Who have to go back in time. They have to. The Bills only have to leave the Eastern Coast, the East Coast time zone once.
Yeah.
They have like the fourth fewest miles traveled.
That's fantastic.
It's
I love that.
And they face no teams coming off of bye.
Yeah. Which hasn't happened in years. Also loving that.
At
On
Saints.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah, that's a dub.
Yeah. Josh Allen doesn't win when food's on the line. He won the Potato Bowl.
That's
He
true.
won against the Cowboys in Thanksgiving.
That's right.
So Josh Allen goes 3-0 with food on the line.
There's been food on the line other times. Wasn't there a Kansas City bet?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That wasn't like real. That was like a
Like a side bet.
that wasn't like a this is the Kansas City Wing Bowl. That
Yeah.
was like a if we win,
You got to eat
have
this
send us
barbecue
X.
on camera.
Right.
All right.
Anytime he's had food on camera after the game,
Like-
it's because he's won.
We should then have food places sponsor every game.
We really
Yeah.
should.
We should also add like a food component to our intangible index because I bet
Ooh.
Josh Allen isn't the only player who wins with food unlocked.
No, because that
That'd
would
be interesting to see.
heavily favor like Dallas players.
Okay, maybe you
But percentage, if we go percentage, I got to imagine that because they play so often, their percentage isn't high because you stand a
that's true.
larger
Right.
sample
I mean,
size.
I don't mean favor. It would heavily weight
Well, right.
Yeah.
towards
But
Dallas and Detroit.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
like
we
players
have
from
to-
those teams for sure.
Well, maybe there's like a contingency where it's like you
You
to
can't
be
have played
undefeated
in-
or something, or
Yeah, how many
have to
undefeated
have-
with at least 2 games played in food?
or you
Let's
have to
just
have a
not
winning
have a food
record.
contingent. I don't like that.
All right. Week 13.
Patriots at home.
This is the
Monday
Monday night,
night.
game at home. Monday night in Buffalo.
Monday
Yeah.
night in Buffalo.
That's our
December
only
6th.
home primetime game.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got to win that one. That's the one we
Mhm.
win.
I think that's a 1-2.
I'll take the loss.
You're a Debbie Downer. You know what?
It's the kind of games the Bills lose.
I think that Jacksonville game is the kind of games Bills lose.
At Tampa.
The same thing that happens in the Kansas City game, just a lower score. It's going to be really close, but I think the Bills are going to save beating the Buccaneers for when it matters most in the 2021 season. So I think that they drop this one for what I have as our second loss of the season.
I think they break the record for most points scored in a game.
And score 77.
No, combined. Like they break whatever record that is.
Whatever record they set earlier in the season with Kansas City.
Yeah, they're gonna break the record once. And
So
then
right, they're
the
gonna break the record and then they're gonna
Break it again.
break it again with Tampa.
So you're
Or they're
saying
gonna lose.
that Josh Allen is going to go 2-0 in games in which the total amount of points scored in a game is broken.
No, he's gonna go 0-2. So that's not a good stat for him because I have him losing both.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We'll
you
take
gotta
that out of
use
the
That's how-
We're not going to use that.
Don't use that one.
That's a loss.
Okay. Okay,
The Bills are built to beat Kansas City, not Tampa,
I agree.
right? Carolina.
That's a win. Sorry, Darnold, but when you play this Bills defense in this secondary, you're going to see ghosts again, and you're going to think that you're back in New York.
W.
Yeah,
Well, sometimes you like to be different, so I gotta make sure.
I do like to be different.
All right, week 16.
At New England.
That's a loss.
Yeah, I'm going. The only division loss is at New England at the end
This
of the
is
season.
a win. This is a
And I
win
only
to
figure
make
that-
up for their Monday night loss. See, that's how it goes in my head.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fair.
Atlanta. At home.
At home, I'm going to take the win.
I'm gonna take the win here too, just because Wifey has Atlanta in this one, so I've got to go.
Gotcha.
Got to go Bills.
Jets at home.
What are you? You can't move on.
Win.
God. Week 18.
Oh, week 17 is also when I win our fantasy football league championship.
Yeah, good luck with that.
So
Week 18.
Jets in Buffalo.
Yeah, it is.
Bills
Why
win.
are we even debating?
Any Jet fans that show up are booing.
or cheering
Or
because they got
They're
the number
cheering
one
for the
pick.
loss. Yeah.
Right.
Like, yay, we got the number
we
one.
can pick another quarterback.
Number 2. Guys, we got better. We were number 2 last year. We're number 1 this year.
All right, Noah, what do you got?
Okay, so
He just told them they had 2.
14 and
You have 14 and 3, Paul.
I can dig it. So one more win than that we had last season.
ooh,
Noah has 12 and 5.
5,
You're gonna be right in the middle.
12, literally
13 and 4.
That couldn't have worked out any better.
Oh my god.
That's incredible.
That's awesome. That's kind of funny.
I can't believe I'm the one.
Yep, Noah's lowest on the
Wow.
Bills.
Bills fans, boo.
Bills fans, boo.
No, I think any of us would still take 12 and 5 because I think 12 and 5 still makes the playoffs. I think 12 and 5 might borderline lose us the division. It'd be dicey at 12 and 5. I think it'd be
To who?
way too close.
Hmm.
Minus the fact that Miami's probably going to get destroyed by us in the beginning
I
of the
don't
year,
think anybody gets more than 10 in the division.
besides us.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good.
With an extra game, though, see, Miami went 10 and 6 last year. I think that their team improved. So I would put them at 11.
I don't think a team is going to go more than 11 wins
That's
next
fair.
year.
Yeah. Which is perfect because if we end up with 12 wins, like you say, we still win the division.
Yep.
And it's a little bit too close for comfort because we're going to that week 18
Oh,
matchup
yeah.
against the Jets, thinking to ourselves, we need to win this. And we'll have 2 games in
Well,
hand
they did
against
it last
Miami.
year
And
with Matt Barkley,
yeah,
so
this is true. I have more faith in Trubisky will come in against the Jets. Throw for
that's how
480
Trubisky
yards.
gets his contract.
That's
And then-
right.
And then he's
Trubisky pulls
up
up for Rob Johnson,
This is
120
the
million
Trubisky
deal.
Bowl.
and then they
Yep.
start Trubisky in the playoffs.
Don't you
No.
dare say that.
That's not what I said.
All right. So
I like
that
it.
wraps up our show. The cough wraps up our show. On the day when the CDC declares we no longer have to wear masks,
I am vaccinated.
Noah coughs.
I'll have my
While-
second vaccination tomorrow.
While 7 vaccinated players from the Yankees.
You guys are at the house, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text Bill Gates and see if he can give me the GPS coordinates to Noah's chip. Give me a second.
Oh my god! I figured out today that my manager is one of those.
Go.
Oh no.
Because
Okay.
she went, because I said to her the CDC thing happened, and I
Uh-huh.
said it to her, and she's like, oh well, now what are we gonna have to do? How are they gonna prove that we're vaccinated? I'm like, oh, you're carry around, your card. She's like, oh, they're gonna make us carry around this piece of paper, or they're gonna implant a chip in us instead, so we don't have to carry it around. And I was like,
Will the chip open the door at work?
Will it act as my key fob?
Will it start my car?
Can I order Grubhub with it? Can I
and it
download
tell
my
that I am hungry
card?
and order me food without me doing anything?
right?
Oh,
And
This
then a
chip
robot
doesn't sound
brings it
too
into
terrible. You know,
Yeah, sign me up for the chip, man.
Put
It
me on the
even
chip
sounds
list.
like food.
the chip list.
the chip list.
Chip list.
Frito Lay's,
Uh,
baked Lay. Well,
You
wait.
can't spell chip without an IP address.
That's right.
Ah.
Oh snap!
But yeah,
All right.
second vaccination tomorrow.
Nice.
Go get vaccinated. It won't hurt you as much as the virus itself will. These are
Correct.
facts. These aren't feel facts. That is a
Yeah,
fact.
my arm hurt and I felt a little foggy. Like, oh God.
Oh,
And that lasted
buddy.
for a day, and I drank some water, and I was fine.
Yep.
So I was
You weren't
probably dehydrated.
It's your own doing.
Gotta love it. All right, great show, guys.
Yeah.
Paul, always good to talk with you.
Good
Miss
to be
CJ
back.
this week, but
Yep. CJ
you know.
was winning back-to-back softball games, or so we hope. If he lost
Yes.
either one of them, he's going to be muted the entire next episode. We're not going to
Tell
tell
your
him.
next.
Well, that's
We
up
won't
to
tell
you,
him.
Paul. So
I know firsthand now. I know what not to say next episode.
That's right. We have two words on the list right now.
Yep.
So, yep.
Oh no, I was saying that's going to be up to Paul though, because it's just going to be them next.
Oh, it's just going to be you two next time.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
It's the first show.
I'll have to
show
mute.
of our dynamic.
2-2-4. It's like we're
Dynamic.
defense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2-2-4.
A 2-2-4
2
defense.
down linemen, 2 linebackers, 4 DBs.
We only need 8 players on the
We
field.
only
yeah, we only need 8 players.
That's it.
I'm that
You
guy.
don't
This is gonna
understand
be
how
like the 85
awesome the
Bears.
2-2-4 defense. Exactly.
2 2 4 3.
2 + 2 + 4 is 8. 8 is in the 85 Bears. That there's correlation there. You just gotta piece
Exactly.
it together.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Everyone have a safe week. Noah and I will talk to you all in 2 weeks.
Yes.
It will be Paul and CJ next week. And in 3 weeks, we all return as
Oh,
the
snap.
Fantastic Four.
Flame
I
on.
am-
If CJ doesn't have softball.
As long as CJ doesn't have softball.
Yeah. Or
I'll
I'll
be
just have to
Mr.
go
Stretchy
after the
Arms.
first game, kidnap them, throw them in the back of my
Yes.
car, drive them to my house, sit them in front of my camera. We got this.
You got it.
Yeah.
There's ways.
If you need
It's
a
not
sub, just
kidnapping
let
if
us
it's your
know.
friend.
That's true. That's true. That's what Watson says.
That's why they were on a first name basis.
You forced it.
And on that note, be safe.
Allegedly.
What's your line?
Jets fans boo.
No, they're drunk and passed out.
Oh, yeah. You can't
We're
boo if you're
past
passed out.
that.
We're number 2.
Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.
And still wear a mask because it's not over. Okay.
It isn't.
Be good, everybody.
Adios.
Yeah, I'm working on audiosing. More stop recording. Recording is stopped. That was fun, Paul.
You're still live.
Oh, we're not. That